Hi Alliance members, sorry I can't be with you in the Auburn Library today. I'm here in front of the Portland Museum of Art, just finished up the Eggs and Issues debate on question 1. We are continuing to prosecute a very vigorous campaign across the state. I've been meeting with community groups, Rotary groups, and political groups, trying to get the message out that the no vote on question 1 is the right vote for all the reasons that we previously discussed, laying aside the tax issue, the violation of patient privacy, the unaccountability of this board that's going to spend $300 million, the unnecessariness of this board, not to mention the fact that independent home care workers are going to become state employees if this passes. Our fundraising effort has been going really well. As I said, we are targeted to try to raise about $750,000 to get our message up on TV, and we're on our way to that number. Appreciate all the great support that you guys have given, and also we've been getting a lot of good reports back from contributions being made by the business community. One of the other interesting things, and I think you'll appreciate this, just earlier this week, the Maine Association of Community Service Providers, who were our brothers and sisters in arms in the direct care worker legislation, they have come out against question 1 and have joined our coalition. That's a really, really valuable group that's going to be able to talk about how this $300 million isn't even addressing some of the issues that they're looking at. So I think we've got a great coalition, we've got a lot of good momentum, and continue to send those letters to the editor if you can. Continue to mine information from the folks that on the ground that you see. Grab the Stop the Scam signs that are in the back of the room, I'm being told, and take those, put them on the lawn. Make sure that when you're in the grocery store or at the soccer game that you're telling the folks around not just how awful this proposal would be on our economy, but also on the long-term care continuum. And that's a really important point when you think about the fact that our association, the hospitals, the nursing homes, the Association of Community Service Providers are all joined together to oppose this. So keep up that fight, and please, if you have any questions in the course of your work, reach out to me. We are going to go up on TV relatively soon with our first ad. We're actually meeting some folks next week to put together what the ad will look like and who's going to be in it. If you have folks in your employ who are nurses or direct care workers who you think might be interested, please let me or Lori know, because the message I think we want to have out there, nurses are very, very well regarded in the public, and to the extent that we create an ad that talks about some of the deficiencies of this program, when a nurse is relaying that information, that's going to be a pretty powerful message. So make sure if you have those contacts, or you know of people who might be interested, let me or let Lori know. Shifting gears for a second, hopefully we can defeat this referendum and defeat it decisively so that we don't continue to have to deal with folks from out of state funding these campaigns that really have no relationship to what we in Maine are dealing with, both in the economy and in the long-term care continuum. But it does set up an interesting situation for us if we are successful in November defeating this. What do we come forward with in January? And perhaps today isn't the time to talk about that, but we should be thinking now of some initiatives that we want to push forward in January. And January will be the absolute time for us to do that. I think actually the rest of the state will be looking to us to set a course and set an agenda going forward. Certainly not the Maine People's Alliance, but a group like all of you who are dedicated to this and are knowledgeable about it. We should start thinking about other pieces of legislation that we want, not just reimbursement rate increases to help our workers, but other issues that create a vocation for home care workers going forward. And I think that at some point is something we should sit down and talk about for the next legislative session, because I think the rest of the state will be looking to us to come forward with something moves us forward and helps reshape the long-term care continuum in a way that will have Maine ready for our aging population. I'm not going to give you any predictions in September for the actual election. Folks seem to think that Sean Moody is leading the pack in the gubernatorial race, but my understanding is that most people are undecided at the moment. I think that the more Terry Hayes plays into this, the less successful Janet Mills will be. It'll be interesting to see if candidate Hayes can get to a point where she becomes a contender. I don't see Alan Caron making much of a dent, largely because he doesn't have enough money to do it. But I think that will come into focus in October when the gubernatorial debates start happening. The conventional wisdom is that the Democrats will take back the Senate and hold on to the House. It'll be tight. There are a number of really interesting races, including one in Waldo County between Aaron Herbig and Jane Crosby Giles. I think that's going to be a really important bellwether. I think if the Democrats win that, they're probably going to take back control of the Senate. And I see them holding on to the House. There are a lot of Republican legislators who are termed out. A lot of their existing leadership, including Ken Fredette and Ellie Espling, are termed out. So I think the Democrats will hold there. But a lot of that remains to be seen. And obviously the most important thing for us is to make sure we deliver a decisive no vote in November, and appreciate all the help that you guys are doing to make that possible. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next month.